Hi, everybody. I'm Robyn Rice Olmsted.
And I am Gil William Olmsted, and I am happy to welcome you to Rockin the Love.
Yes, me too. And as you can see, we're still here together, which is a good thing. We are coming to you live from Albuquerque, New Mexico, which isn't always the case. Sometimes I'm in California and he's here.
Sometimes I'm in California.
And I'm there. But today we're here together. So we hope you've had a great week. I know that we have.
We had a good week.
Yeah, it's been a good week. So let us know you're here. Say hello in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. We are very excited today to have our guest, the Reverend Dr. Sherri Greer, who is going to talk about
the energetic flow of manifestation. And if you can get that all out in one sentence, you're doing good. That's quite a mouthful.
And even if you can't, I guarantee you that you want some. So stay tuned for that. So
welcome to Wayne and Shay.
Yay!
Good to see you out there.
Hi, Wayne. Party time. Excellent, Wayne. Okay, we are ready to party. So tell me about your week. What was good? What was the best thing this week?
Best thing this week was it's just hearing people's excitement about moving forward. It was I mean, I had a chance to see people really take a stand, and they got excited about it. And
so update the people, because
we
shared
said something last week.
Yeah.
So. And I had to go and I had the opportunity to share the current situation of finances at the center where I am the spiritual director, and request that people step up. And they didn't just step up, they stepped up to the tune of twice what we asked for. And they shared a lot of positive comments about it. And it was the feeling really was exactly what we wanted to have happen, what I wanted to see. And that was that sense of people are like, this is my community. How can I make, how I want to see this thrive as much as anyone else does. And so I'm stepping up. And that was fantastic.
And so what did you learn from that? From going from fear to faith, in essence? What was your takeaway?
That it's required sometimes to go through whatever the fear is, to acknowledge it's there, and then go, okay, so now what? And that was kind of what I did. I had to go, okay, well, there it is, so let's work through it. And it also was an opportunity to really hold the space, because I knew in my heart that what was needed, what was good for the community, what was all those things, was already in order, but I couldn't see it yet.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a big lesson. It's a big lesson. Oh, lots of comments here. Be excellent to each other. Yes, Wayne, good advice. Be excellent to each other. Yeah, be excellent. Sorry, I was having a little regression. Do you know he got up and made breakfast this morning and didn't even invite me?
So bad.
It was so bad, because he talked about breakfast and then he went out and fixed it, and only fixed for him.
I only fixed what I normally eat for breakfast. So there you go. What can I say?
It's true. I'm trying to get over it. I felt if I spoke it out into a space of like-minded friends, that they'd send love both of our ways, even though you don't deserve it. No,
okay.
I'm just kidding. My week was good. And I guess the highlight of my week, well, there were two. I mean, I loved what you did on Sunday. I loved the way you showed up. And it's such a, I mean, you all know out there, there's that vibration, really, when you're standing in your authentic self and being your authentic self, and really vulnerable to that. even though it's scary, you're just showing up. And he really did that well. And so it was an honor to watch and hold the space for. And that was very exciting. And, your community, you have such a love affair with them, and they're so loving and amazing that
Well,
it's amazing.
I want to acknowledge, as you're saying that also a practitioner / ministerial student / vice president of the board also stood up and tag teamed at the end of what I did and just really brought it home. And it was another testament to how we collaborate together, because it was it really anchored what I had said and touched people in a different way. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. So thank you.
Back to my week.
Back to your
week. And yesterday, Shay was there as we launched our other show, not our other show, my other show, Girls Behaving Metaphysically, at 5:00 Pacific time on Tuesday, 6:00 Mountain time on New Thought Media Network. And it was crazy. And speaking of authentic and real and in the moment, it was a wild ride for our first show, but it was super fun. And I hope you'll all join us next Tuesday and see where we go. It was with Dr. Natasha Wilson and myself. And we're just talking about all the things in the world that are spiritual and don't always seem like it. And, just moving through some of those myths and blocks and feelings and seeing where it takes us. And we welcome any input or anything you want to see or talk about. Feel free to let us know, as we do here as well. So anywhere you put that advice, we'll take it.
All righty then.
So
shall we move on?
Yes. So our producer's saying he hopes that the producer of that show shows up. We hope that producer shows up too. But what we need to tell you is that producer showed up today and is celebrating his birthday with us. So happy birthday, Michael Mangus. Woo-hoo. We love you in spite of yourself. And we wish you a great year.
Hola chica. I'm sorry. That's your line. You're supposed to say that.
You can say it. You did. Hola, Mirna. So welcome, and again, join us next week on both shows. So I want to thank Shay, and I want to thank Naomi and John and Bonnie Gonzalez and all of the people that showed up or sent good well wishes. We just appreciate you so much. So thank you for that. Now it's time. Myrna has arrived, so that can only be more good news to come.
More good news.
This is our segment where we talk about what's good in the world, what's happening, what's going on. And we don't always get to hear about the good stuff. So tell me what you got.
All right. Well, you know how you get those phone calls and there's someone on the other end speaking a different language and you're like, wait, that's not really for me. And you hang up. And then another day you get a phone call where they say, is your refrigerator running? You should go catch it. I mean, they inquire about things that don't make particular sense, but sometimes they seem like they do. Well, it's easy to get caught up in one of those kind of scams where somebody tells you you have to go and pay your gas bill or it's going to be shut off or whatever the thing is. And apparently in Australia, a woman went into the bank and because it was such an unusual transaction, the bank has taught their tellers what to do. And so the teller or bank official, whoever it was she was talking to, asked her a series of questions about her transaction, which actually allowed her to say, ma'am, this is not a real transaction. You don't want to do this. And save the woman of being scammed for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because they were paying attention, and they weren't just, oh, you're here, this is what you want, here you go, but actually paying attention to their people. And I just thought it was great that, that we take care of one another like that in the world. That is something that people do, something people care about is watching out for each other, even in those things that are really, might be sort of embarrassing to inquire about with someone. Oh, it's their business. I don't want to get involved. But why are you bringing $5,000 in gift cards to, whatever the thing is? And I laugh, but it happens. It happens to people you would never suspect it could happen to. So it's great when someone else in, professional in the particular industry is watching and keeping an eye on things and going, oh no, that's not normal. Yeah. Even though I may think, well, it's a little odd, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's really important, taking care of each other. And that's what my story revolves around as well.
Okay.
So my story is about kids at Providence College, and there's a security guard there named James, and he is from Nigeria, and he's just this great guy that is there, 4 nights a week, overnight and one day or something. And he'll, anytime kids need to talk, he'll sit down and talk with them. He's there for them. He's present for them. And he had told the kids that, he generally had gone to visit his family like every year or every other year in Nigeria. But for over 5 years, he hadn't been able to go. And so as he told the kids this, they went and they created a GoFundMe, and they were committed to getting him a ticket home and getting him like meals and money to take on his trip paid. And they actually shut it off at $30,000.
Wow.
And and so they went and they surprised him, and he didn't expect it at all. There's a great video that I was too afraid to send to my producer, but sorry, that there's a great video, and he's sitting there and they tell him, we love you, your family, and this is what family does for one another. And they said, so we want you to go see your family in Nigeria. And they put the ticket down, and he literally got down on the ground. He couldn't get up. He was so touched and so moved. And there was this whole room of kids that were just like, happy birthday. And he was so excited. And I think it speaks to exactly what you said. I mean, it's just, how many times do we have a fix? Do we have something that would support somebody? Not that we have to go start the GoFundMe, but even just the thought and the idea and the vibration of wanting to do something, that really wanting to help make something else happen for somebody. That's like so exciting to me. So that's my story.
Well, I just want to compliment Wayne, or note that he says humankind. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about, is humans being kind.
That's true. So
and that's what we get to do anytime we choose, and people are doing it. So it's good to know.
It's true. It's very true. All right. So we are going to take a break, because that's what we do here. We are going to come right back and introduce our friend and the fabulous Reverend Dr. Sherri Greer. So come right back here to New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
And we are back right here on Rockin the Love. I'm Robyn Rice Olmsted.
And I am Gil. Just Gil. That's me. And we're here with Rockin the Love, and we're excited right now because we get to move to the part of the show where we have our guest, Reverend Dr. Sherri Lynn Greer. And she's going to be talking with us today about the energetic flow of manifestation. So, Reverend Dr. Sherri, hello.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
We are good. We are good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Even though the sun is not out today, I'm doing well.
Man,
the sun gives me energy.
Yeah, It's been dark days up there in Oakland.
Yeah, yesterday was a pretty day, though.
Oh, good.
Yesterday.
But I mean, it seems like a lot more rain than usual.
Well, yeah, but that's good. We need the rain.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I want to share a little something by way of introduction of Sherri, and that is I had the opportunity to come on board at the center where she was serving as a practitioner several years ago now. My gosh, can you believe it's several years ago now? Anyway, and Sherri was one of those people that came up and said, "Oh my gosh, hello, we're so glad you're here. I just want to meet you. My name's Sherri. How can I help you?" And I don't even know what you said. All I know is I know the feeling of it, and the feeling was super powerful. And I share that story in part as introduction, but also in part as introduction to the topic, because I think the sense, the vibration that you brought to that is exactly the kind of energetic you're talking about in our lives. And I'm suspecting you've been using it more for longer than you think.
Yeah, that's probably why it's resonating with me now so much. It's like, wow, there's so much about my life that I'm grateful for, and the positive things that have happened in my life. I realize it because my energy has always been like that. I never said that's what it is. I never described it that way. I remember growing up, I always wondered what was my gift. People could sing, people could dance, people play music, instruments. They did all different things. I said, well, God, what is my gift? I don't have a gift. Until I became an older adult, like in my 40s, and started volunteering in the youth ministry. And when I did that, I realized, oh my goodness, your gift is the gift of love. Because people would always come to me, how do you do that? How do you be in there with those kids? And I'm like, I'm having fun. What are you talking about? It was just an amazing experience. And then I just started owning that about myself. I didn't talk about it much because people would look at you like, what are you talking about? Are you, boasting yourself up or whatever? But it's just who I am. And I said, thank you, God. I think about when I was younger and how I had always had a lot of friends. Always had a lot of friends. Everybody was my friends. Now, my friends weren't friends a lot of times, but I had to tell them, you guys got to get together because you're my friends. And so this gift, I may not can go out there and sing. I may not can, do break a move and dance and all that stuff. But I got this to always lead with. I lead with this. And I'm so grateful because I realized that for some people, it's a struggle. And it's not for me. I remember people talking about, oh, don't get in my space. You're my space. I never was one like that. I never had you need to get back here. It was like, everybody just come hug me. You can sit all on me. And, I used to work with girls and it was just a beautiful thing. Now I'm a little bit more thoughtful about my space now. I'm more intentional about my space because of this work I'm doing now. However, I'm not like fearful of people just loving on me and me being able to love on them. So I'm just grateful to be here with you guys today. You guys, my people.
We are that. So, when you talk about being the gift of love, that, if you're at all familiar with David Hawkins, is the highest vibration there is, right? The vibration of love. So, there's no mistake that as you move into this vibrational work, that of course that's who you are, and how beautiful that you can bring that full essence to the world.
Yeah, it has been amazing because I have been in this philosophy for over 30 years. And I tell you, I am just now really understanding what it means what it means about energy and who we are. And I think about how a lot of times when we're talking or we be in relationships with other people, we'll go, hey, yeah, that means they got good energy. Or, yeah, no, don't hang around them because their energy not cool. And when people say that, we listen to it, we laugh at it, we go like, yeah, we agree with it. But do we really understand what that means when we're talking about people's energy? It's so much deeper than that surface stuff we talk about. Because people don't realize, like Jesus said, what I do, you can do. He was talking about on an energetic level.
Right.
Right.
So people think, oh, Jesus said, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, but he was talking on an energetic level. And it also means like when we talk about we are one with each other, you look at us and we go like, how we are one with each other? We don't look like each other. We are totally different flavors, different, but God did that because so we know each other. Because if we all looked alike, we wouldn't know who was who, and we would be really boring. But it was through the energy, the spirit of God that we are one. We are one.
Right.
And that's sometimes when you say, oh, you think about somebody a lot and all of a sudden they call you, it's your energetic frequency is up. And theirs must be up at the same time. And then they make that call and you be like, wow, I was just thinking about you. It's so real and it's so, and it could be so intentional. It could be just haphazard, like I just said, or it could be something that you really work with. We are here to shape and mold our energy. We all have the ability to do this. We just have to stay on course. We have to when you're feeling something, to really pay attention to what that is. And when
Right.
you are, and we know when we are not vibrating high. We may not realize we know, but there's this point when you're walking around and you're not feeling good, and you're woe is me, or you get angry at people. You're vibrating at a low place. And so when you are higher up, or you're feeling good inside, and you have all these good energies, that's at a higher vibration. And so this is where we want to be all the time. We might not necessarily can be there, but this is where we want to be. Robyn, you have
Right.
a question?
I want to encourage those out there in the audience to ask questions. I see Anna Maria has joined us. Welcome. And John and everyone's commenting on how beautiful you are and how much they love you. And but I want to talk more about, because you said it in there, we know, but we may not always be able to do it. Because I know there are people out there that are like, why can't I manifest a partner? Why can't I find the right job? Why can't I do this? I'm doing all the steps. I'm a practitioner. I'm this, I'm that. And so when we can't do it, what do we do to get there?
First place is, it's not that you can't do it. You're just not in sequence with what you want. And so when we say, I want a relationship, but you walk around and you talk about all the other people over here, and you may not even be talking about relationships, but it's like, where is my thought? Where is my focus? Because basically you want to focus on what you want. And a lot of times when you say I want a relationship, but you have a lot of buts in there. And so you have to look at that, because you have to be acceptable and willing to be open to relationships, all relationships, not necessarily a partner, but just relationships in general. And so when I say I want a relationship, when I look at relationships, I give praise to people's relationships. I don't get into the people who are not doing good and gossiping and all that, because that's going to lower your vibration. You have to stay with your vibration elevated. Your frequency has to be elevated, be able to manifest. So what I had said to you guys earlier about when I was speaking one time, and I was saying that, I pray all the time, but things are happening. But the thing about it is that I pray. You can pray all you want to, but if you're not vibrating at that frequency that you need, then it's not going to happen. And so it's like what we say in this philosophy: it works if you do the work. It works if you do the work, because it's intentionally saying, okay, I'm not going to be talking about other people's relationships. I'm not going to get into other people's relationships, because that's going to bring me down. If I'm talking about someone who, they should get out that relationship, he's no good or she's no good, all that kind of stuff is not bringing you up. It's not bringing you up. And so you want to be able to keep your elevation up. And that's just thinking about all the things that you do want. And so if you want a relationship, you focus on the things that you do want. You don't talk about the things that you don't want, because when we focus on, we get more of. And that's something that you don't want to do. So you have to keep your mind focused on what it is and get that feeling of, think about what brings you joy. Think about what brings you joy, and then see yourself in that place. And so start feeling that feeling, whatever that feeling is, that's where you want to be. And so if you want to be in a relationship, you start seeing yourself, get that feeling and see yourself in this relationship, the type of relationship that you want, and keep living from that place. And that brings your vibration up.
And I think if I'm hearing you right, you're talking about the idea that you that we have the opportunity to, rather than focus on, I really want a tall blonde woman to be my partner, I focus on, I want to feel, I feel into that feeling secure, feeling loved, feeling held, and I focus on how it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm. And then see yourself having it.
And the feeling lifts me up, and then eventually whatever the thing is on the outside, which may bolster that, starts to show up in your life.
Right.
But it's not about, like you said, it's not about focusing on, oh, it's so bad that it doesn't, or I don't know who, this not the one I want, or that's not, I mean, it's like, what do you want rather than what's the object you want, if you will? What do we want to feel and know? That's the lifting part.
But I think we're going to go to the comments in a minute because they're flying in. This relationship topic is a hot topic. But I think that for me, what I'm hearing you both say, like I'm questioning, I want a tall blonde partner. I can play that game too.
Yeah.
I want a tall blonde partner. The different that that's kind of futurizing, whereas what I didn't hear you say this, but what I thought when you said it was focus on the feeling tone of what you want, not what it'll be like if, or what it'll be like when, or what it's been like before, but really what is that feeling of being loved, and when when that may have happened, which could have been with your 5th grade teacher. You know what I mean? I mean, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Just that feeling of, that being acknowledged and knowing that somebody believed in you, kind of thing. And am I making sense? Does that make sense?
I think you're,
yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking. So yes, and maybe no. Yes, that you want that feeling. And what I know in this philosophy, you can get specific in what you want, but do you really know the depth of what you want? I want that tall blonde guy. I want this. I want that. However, you'll get that, and it's not what you want because it's not healthy. So it's really about, like you said, getting that feeling. I remember working at this place, and my boss was a little short guy, and it's kind of personal, but I'm gonna share it because it's so good. And I kept telling him, I was doing online dating. I'm just gonna be real. I was doing online dating, and he said, "What if you get some little guy?" I said, "Oh no, I couldn't date no little guy." And he just kept on. I said, "No, that's not what I want. I don't want a little guy." And I met a guy that was about my height, and I really liked him. But so it's really like not limiting ourselves. So it's like, what do you really want? And that's what I'm talking about, that vibration. You be at that vibration, but that, it's so much like not being so specific and being specific in what you want, being clear about what you want, but being open to how it shows up.
Right. Yep.
Right.
All right.
Being open to how it shows up. So yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to some comments here. We've got Shay who says, for me, the only way to truly raise my vibrational frequency is to uncover and discover what the blocks are to that occurring. The opposite of spiritual bypassing is acknowledging and feeling my feelings. Then my vibration naturally increases. This usually occurs right after setting intentions and affirmations.
So my question to her is, she says, after she acknowledged all this stuff and maybe get that stuff out the way, then her vibration increases. Well, exactly. You know what I mean? And so it's also like, some people call it spiritual bypass when you say, okay, I'm just going to focus on this. Well, it could be, but in God, you can just focus on this. This is all you really have to have, is to be able to know and sit in the presence of God, to sit in that presence. And so, yeah, we could do it the way she did it, and we could do it the way that I'm just going directly to God. I'm sitting here, I'm feeling this feeling of what this joy is I want in my life. I'm feeling this because that's where I want to feel. So again, like when I said, what we focus on, we get. So we focus on that other stuff. Sure, you're going to get through that and hopefully get through that process. And I can also do this over here and get that and get there.
Right.
Yeah, I think again, we talk about the oneness, and so there's no single thing that works for people. Oops, there I am. But it makes a difference. Sometimes when we can't figure out why somehow we just don't feel that thing, or we're not there, sometimes we have to identify, like, what's the belief or what's the thought in me that's got me there? What's my experience that I'm still believing is what's coming up, whatever that night. And that's my sense of what Shay's talking about. And then other times it's like, okay, so whatever that was, I don't need to know, because all I know is I'm ready to move forward, and so I'm changing how I experience life, and so sometimes we can move that way, and sometimes we really have to figure out what it is that we're thinking, like, unconsciously. that's
right.
that's
What's in the way?
our ability. Yeah. What's in the way?
So,
yeah.
What I've been really studying recently is that, and one of the strongest things that the teacher had told the class, is that we are one with God. We are absolutely one with God. And if we know and believe and accept that we're one with God, there is nothing that we need. We have everything that we want. All we have to do is know that and vibrate at that level to receive it, because it's already ours. It would not be in our heart if it wasn't for us. All of us have different desires and things that we want, and that's for us. And so it would not be there if it wasn't already there for us to have. I had an experience where, when I first started taking the class, she said, everybody set an intention. What do you want? What do you want by the end of this class? And I was like, oh, I was in a situation, I've been on workers' comp for a couple of years. And I kept saying, I really want some more money. That's why I said I'm going to focus on money. Prosperity, money, prosperity in the form of money. And I tell you, by the end of that class, I started getting checks coming in. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Because I was like, yeah, I know this. But how did that really happen? Because I prayed and for money, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm gonna work this. And I'm telling you, I was just amazed. Just the other day, I was sitting there thinking, because I kept saying, okay, after class was over, I'm going to the third time doing this class, right? After class was over, I was going back to that normal Sherri who used to be the other. I said, no, we gotta learn how to keep my vibration up. But just the other day, I said, okay, I was thinking about how to come up with some money, right? And Monday, I got a check in the mail. And so I said, I'm going to keep doing this no matter what. And there's other things that have been, because of this, other things that have been manifesting in my life and unfolding as far as the person who I am as Sherri, who I am as a minister, who I am in this world. How do I show up? How do I be? And not to let anybody else, whatever their thought and opinion of me, not my problem, basically. Right. So yeah. So anyway, it's really just knowing that I am one with God, and I have it already. And so I just need to be able to go in there and vibrate at that level of knowing who I am.
Right. So I know John has shared and Myrna has shared, and I'm going to read John's. As a returning practitioner, I'm diving deep to refresh my practice. My huge realization is that my life is a perfect outpicturing of my consciousness.
Up till now.
There are no accidents, and it's been humbling and revealing where I can up-level and change my thoughts. Rev Sherri, isn't the life Rev Sherri, isn't the life we are living right now manifestation of our current consciousness?
Correct. Because it is about your consciousness. It is. It's let's see. I had wrote a quote down here. It said, consciousness shapes and molds our reality. So if you want to know where you are, then look at your surroundings. If you want to know where your consciousness is, look at your surroundings. Look at what you have in your life, because that's where you focus on. That's where your not so much focus on, but your mind is the belief that you have about yourself and in your life.
So yeah. There's a thought that happens in our new thought communities, etc., that says, if I look around and my life looks not the way I want it, and it looks like crud, then what am I doing wrong? How do you match that into this idea that it's about your consciousness and how are people doing something? Are we doing something wrong, or is it the opportunity to realize that maybe we're not focused on what we really want? How would you couch that?
Well, I don't really believe anything is wrong, because I believe there's a lesson or a blessing in everything. But what I will say, if I'm looking around and going, this is not what I want, then I'm going to get more of this is not what I want. I have to look around and say, give thanks for what I have now. And I see myself having whatever that is they want to see themselves. So we're to focus on what we want to see in our lives. When you start thinking about, what was it? Somebody told me this class, like, think about whatever brings you joy, whatever. And I started thinking about it, and I got real happy. I just started feeling good when I started seeing it. And then when we were taken to a place to see the things that we don't want, or how we're focusing on, then my energy started going down. It's like, I don't like that. I don't want that. You don't feel good about that. You see what I'm saying? So it's shifting and giving thanks and knowing that you already have it. Hey, we know this. We know that we affirm what we want. The affirmations are, you affirm what you want. You don't affirm what you don't want. You focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You look and see your life as you want it. That was the secret, I think. You look at what you want. And so, and then you draw to you that what you focus on. So if I like say I'm doing this, but I keep woe is me over here, then woe is me is what I'm going to get.
Well, and the first step is really, can you be grateful for where you are right now? Can you look around and see your blessings and acknowledge that, whether you would like it to be different or not, right? But to really acknowledge and see the good in what you have, whether that's a cardboard box over your head or a home. I want to get to Myrna's thoughts. She says, one thing I believe to do is to surrender to the thing that we humans have control. We plant the seed and get out of the way. And then she says, let God do its work and stay in the belief that what I want is on its way. If I plant a seed, I will water it and let the process reveal. I do not go and dig up the seed to see if it's growing.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing where they say, and act as if it's already so.
Right. And she also says in one of Dr. Sorensen's writings, he said, everything that I am looking out there, I already am.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly what I'm saying. So if you already are it, you already have it. That's what I was saying. You already have it. And so it's just recognizing that you do. But if I keep looking over here that I don't, then I'm going to keep not having that, or not experiencing what I want. And so, yeah, like she said, it's like, and go about your business. Go about your business. Right. I think in gratitude, what you had said about gratitude earlier, this is one of the things I share with people all the time, because it's one of my biggest lessons. And it was to give thanks in all things. And I literally now always find a way to find something to be grateful for, no matter what it is. And one of the main things for me was, and I may have shared this with you guys the last time I was on here, was when my sister passed. That was so hurtful. That was, and people who've had someone really close to them move on, they probably know this. But I was so sad, so mad, so angry, even at God. I was just like, how? My sister's so young. And what I realized is that I was grateful to be able to have spent the time I've had with her on this plane. And so stop looking at that, because we're all going to transition one day or another. But just give thanks for that, Sherri. Just give thanks for that. And so that brought a peace to me. I was able to move forward and stop looking at what I didn't have and start looking at what I did have.
Yeah. Yeah, and Anna Maria says, so back to your beliefs. That may need to change in order to have what you want. Yes, be grateful because the vibration is high, but there's inner work to do.
And in doing this work, like I'm talking about, other stuff will start coming up. I was just in church Sunday, and I have been dealing with some stuff that have been happening over the years, and I was moving from that place of, oh, I'm not going to do that because, it's too much. I don't want to deal with it. But then Sunday, I felt free. I said, oh my goodness, I have released this. I was so grateful. And I didn't necessarily go out there and do the work, but I just kept processing whatever was coming up for me. Whatever was coming up for me, I just like, okay, this is happening. And yeah, of course, there was times I blamed people. I was saying so-and-so's problem, and so-and-so did this, but because I just kept wanting to be in this vibration of good and high frequency, it kind of did its own thing. I didn't have to really do anything but stay where I needed to stay to keep my vibration up. And then it unfolded perfectly. And because that incident, I'm a different person. Just from that day. I'm so different and so grateful and standing in my power of who I am. And so it's all a process. It's all a process because we have been on this earth for how many ever years we've been on this earth. And all of a sudden we want to change the way we think, the way we live, the way we be. And it's almost like layers and layers and layers of stuff that we have to go through. And we may necessarily focus on it and try to get through it. Or we may go through another way of knowing that God is right here where I am, and just keep owning that and keep owning that part of us, and all the rest of it will go away.
Yeah.
Because we just got so much stuff here right now.
Yeah, what you're saying to me, what I've been saying lately, and what's really become apparent to me is it's all a story. It's all my story. Whatever, all of it. Even, I mean, all I know to be true is that my story is God is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sticking with that story, I'll notice sometimes when I'm feeling negative or my vibration is off, when I start to hear, yeah, but well, yeah, but is the beginning for sure, or it should have, or why didn't I, or any of that. I have to immediately go back to that place and go, that wasn't God's plan. This is God's plan. You're here right now. And what are you going to do right now? How am I going to raise to this moment, to this vibration, to this energetic? And for me, Rockin the Love is because for us, it's all about love. So how am I going to be the love in this moment, or see the love? And I'm not great at it. There's definitely room for growth, and I watch Gil sometimes and I'm like, wow, he's so good at it, but then he comes home to me and I remember he's just a man. Just a man.
So Gil, that's why we were vibrating on the same frequency when we met. See, that's why it happened.
And that's because you had a common goal, though. You had a common goal. You wanted the highest and best for the youth. And it was clean and it was pure and it was intentional. So it's like when we hold that common goal or our own goal in that light, that's when the shift happens.
I want to say something to you when you were talking about yeah and but, and what came up to me instantly, it says yeah and. Yeah, but you said yeah, but my thing was yeah and.
Yeah.
Yeah and I could. How am I going to look at this now? How am I going to move from here? Instead of using the but word, to use the and, because we're going to acknowledge that I'm here, and we can get somewhere else.
Absolutely. All right. Anna Maria is saying, I had this experience on Thursday, which was my last day of a job that I really loved and made friends. They gave me a going away party. I felt so loved, and I had several calls and emails for interviews that day in the middle of all of that. I felt like for the first time in a long time, that a relationship was possible for me. I can't see it. It was possible for me. Is that what you are talking about?
Yeah, being at that vibration, right? And so being at that vibration allows things to start happening for you. You know, and it seems real, what's the word, airy fairy? But what can I say? To some people, God is airy fairy. You know, we don't know. We know, but we don't see it. We could just know it. I mean, if you look at the greatest thing I look at in life is the process of life itself. How did we get here? How do babies come in here from where, the little seed, the sperm or whatever, and they get to here? That is magnificent. That is magnificent. That is the most powerful. I don't even know what to say about it, but to me, when I look at that, I said, nobody can tell me nothing. Nobody can tell me anything.
But I want to say to Anna Maria also that I think it is what you're talking about, but it's what I was also thinking earlier. In order to create a vibration, in order to create partnership or partnership with anything, whether it's a new job or a mate or money, it's that. What I'm hearing her say is she was in that vibration of loving herself because she was so loved up by everyone else. And so it dispelled her myths of whatever, the coworker in the cubicle down the way that didn't say hello in the mornings or whatever, because they all showed up and they showed her love, and that allowed her to love herself. And I mean, that's where it all begins, right? To move into that space of oneness. All right. Okay.
So John says, Robyn, you held some fierce unconditional love for me session after session as I lost my mind recently. Testifying to your beautiful consciousness. And if you lose your mind, contact a practitioner.
Yeah.
Good advice. But I will say, again, that is the work of a practitioner. So John doesn't really know how I felt 10 minutes before we started talking or when we started talking or what, but my job was to go into that space and that vibration of the truth of knowing who John was and the love that John is and the infiniteness of God as John and as myself. And, that's why it's very definite how we pray that we unify with spirit, because that's the vibration, right?
Right. You know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And that you know that's the truth about that other person too.
Right. Right. And Myrna says, thank you for this show. I enjoy everything I hear. I look forward to Wednesdays. I got to go. Gracias. Robyn, Rev Gil, and Rev Sherri. Gracias. Thank you, Myrna. We look forward to having you here. We look forward to seeing all of you. And it is always such a shock when it comes time to end. But here we are at the end. And Sherri, I want to thank you so much for being here and just opening up this consciousness and really inviting us all to step into that vibration. It's beautiful.
It is, especially is when we go out to the world and things happen, to really look at that and say, is it really worth me getting upset? Is it really worth me shifting who I truly am? Or, just kind of looking at the world differently so you can stay in a place of joy and feeling good. That's where I am. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world, and we can just give that love energy out. We can change the world by our vibration.
Yes. And we want you to know there's lots of thank yous, Rev Sherri, and stay beautiful, Rev Sherri. And you can stay in touch with Rev Sherri at her Facebook. That will come on to, there it is, Creative Metamorphosis. And you can contact Sherri. She's teaching some upcoming classes. She'll be doing some speaking and some workshops, and you can find out all about where you can learn more. You can email her at spiritualcoach2011@gmail.com. And we're just grateful you were here, and thank you, Anna Maria and John and Shay and all of you that were out there, Myrna and Wayne. And Anna Maria would like you to know that she's a practitioner and she has a powerful practitioner as well.
Wonderful.
I just wanted to take care of her powerful practitioner that's sitting close to me. So,
Oh.
so thank you all. Thank you all. And we love you all. And we just invite you to come back next week and rock the love with us. Contact Rev Sherri. Don't forget to check out Girls Behaving Metaphysically Tuesdays at 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. And send lots of birthday love to the magnificent producer extraordinaire, Michael Mangus, who we know that even when he's not with us physically, when he's supposed to be, he is with us in spirit. So happy birthday, Michael.
Happy
Enjoy your day.
Happy birthday.
And everybody out there, celebrate at the vibration of Michael Mangus's birthday.
All right.
High vibration and rock the love, y'all.
Rocking it.
See you next week.